He came out dancing tonight. He's been coaching. He's had the rub down. He's now getting himself organised and prepared for the 150 metres. So the points table sits like this. A power play for the Bolt All-Stars. They may catapult into the lead here. Australia lead China, Bolt All-Stars, England, New Zealand and Japan. And here is the start list. Taniguchi, Zhongrujian, Usain Bolt, Alex Hartman, Joseph Miller and Confidence Lawson. Well, we're all hoping, Tams, and this might happen, that he would run an individual event. He made the call after Thursday night and we're about to see it.
Well, he says he's a great team man. We don't usually see Usain Bolt come out this early in the season, Bruce, so it's very exciting and it's such a coup for Australia to have him competing out here.
Well, it's the first time in 4 years he's actually run an individual event in February. I mean, this is really early. Alex Hartman ran in the Olympic Games last year in the 200 metres. He was behind Nicol Ashmead, a teammate of Usain in that heat. He's a fine young athlete. This is a big thrill for him to be running.
I think it's a great experience for Alex Hartman. He's a really big talent for us, winning the 100 and 200 nationals last year, but then having appendix problem. He was in hospital and very sick before he went to Rio. But I loved how he still put himself out there and got pretty close to his best. He was very fast those Rio heats, Bruce. I think something like 20.4, didn't make it through the semi-final. And there's the man who won it, and he won it quite easily.
He's the fastest man in the world at 100, at 200, and yes, at 150. Ran that in Manchester. So it's an unusual distance. We don't see it often. 8 Olympic gold medals now. We know that 11 World Championship gold medals. It's the most remarkable sprinting story in the history of the sport. There's only one and there'll only ever be one. He's different, both in his personality and his power and ultimately his speed. So how toey does he get here? I mean, he puts his reputation on the line every time he starts now. It seems a formality for us, but not for him. We're about to go. Hartman and Bolt in the middle. So the moment's arrived. He's off. He can run a bend, we know that. He's up pretty well. Gets up to Hartman, Miller and Lawson. Bolt comes into the straight just in front of Miller, Hartman and Lawson. Bolt stretching away. Oh, what a privilege. We've been waiting for it. He turns it off, strolls over the line like he did in Beijing all those years ago. We've seen him in an individual race. It was enough. We could all go home happy. He's got the 4x1 to come, of course. That's the grand finale tonight. John, when you thought about Nitro all those months ago and you put this together, Steph, this was a moment you would have dreamed of, eh?
Usain, 15:28 into a slight headwind. First time we've seen you back from the Olympics running individual event. How did that feel, my brother?
It was rougher than I thought it would be. It's my first one. It's the first time I've run this early this season, especially in a sprint. Felt okay, but I won, and that's the key thing.
Now you got the 4x1 coming up. What do you do between now and then, mate?
Sit down. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going down there. I'm going to sit down and relax and get ready.
Now you need Natasha to get the win as well, so you can get the maximum bonus points. How do you think she'll go?
She'll win. I believe in my teammate. Come on, Natasha!
I love the confidence. Well, let's see what happens, mate. Well done.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love it, Bruce. He says he was rough, and I can see what he's saying in terms of the excellence of the usual Usain Bolt, but he still had this field covered easily. He was a little bit ginger coming off the bend, but when he opened up, there he is. His start was just okay. It's pretty tough for such a big man on the bend, but he still gobbles up the stagger. But Joseph Miller ran really well. You can see here, he just looks a little bit more compact and tense than he usually does. But I mean, I'm being really picky. His speed off the ground is so good. When he opens up, he just makes the gap on the field, and then he's able to switch off with 20 metres to go. I tell you what, if I was his competitor leading into London World Champs later in the year, I'd definitely sit up and notice that.
Well, he says this is going to do him the world of good because he's putting the hard yards. And Miller has had a real breakthrough here. He's someone to watch confidence, Lawson. Alex Hartman hung on well. He wasn't far away from third.